Sup guys, Mr. Wicked Shot here back with another video, discussion video. And in today's video, I want to talk to you guys about something that's been weighing on my heart and been, a gripe of mine for a while and not something I see a lot of people or many people talk about or take attention to. Probably because at the end of the day, it doesn't involve, um, you know, racism. It's discrimination, but it's not the same as, the racism that you see everybody jumping on and, calling out every white person underneath the sun for. But it's still discrimination in the clearest form. And this form, I know it as colorism. And the reason why I want to talk about it today is because, as I said, a lot of people, with a lot of the Me Too movement and the Black Lives Matter movement and the All Lives Matter stuff and all that stuff going on, like it's important that, since we are quick to call out anybody else on the other aisle for racism or any discrimination, I think we have to be honest with ourselves and be willing to critique ourselves when we see any form of hypocrisy, being shown. And the reason why that's important is because I came across an article that, hit very hard and just kind of made, was kind of the straw that break the camel's back. And this article is regards to the parents of a dreadlock girl that are right now fighting to have their daughter be allowed back in school. And this is back home in my homeland. Oh, ashamed I am to say this, my homeland of Jamaica. Very disappointed when I saw this article popped up on my Facebook page. Everybody was sharing it all over the place. So it brought to my attention the reason why this discussion is important to have because right now everybody is quick to call out any white person for any sort of form of racism. The Black Lives Matter movement is going rabid. Is going on, and although the main reason for why that movement was started is being overlooked right now because of all the negativity being, shown about it by other people that's been, infiltrating it. It's still important that the main point I want to make about this video is showing how it doesn't look right that, we in the black community are trying to call out white people for being racist towards us and to be for being even in some cases where it's like not even clear racism, but we're right now you just you can see people getting race baited into seeming racist and just being called out for any little thing, right? And we are actively and always have been throughout history show our own discrimination towards our own kind in our own community on a regular basis, right? We actively engage in colorism. I've been on the receiving end of it back home, and I know it's a thing, right? I haven't spent a lot of time in like similar type of black communities here since I came to America, so I can't see how different it is compared to the kind of colorism I experienced in while I was in Jamaica. But I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that far different from it. And colorism don't get a lot of attention because, like I said, it just revolves in you know within the same race. So prejudice towards someone of your own race, and you'll make fun of whether they're too dark or not light enough or whether they're too light, so you'll make fun of them and whatever, so it's like, racism within your own race, so we'll call it colorism. So the why this is important because I experienced a lot of that in Jamaica. And Jamaica has a lot of ways that is kind of embedded into the community, into the society while I was there of how you see different ways of how people show their disdain for their own race. One of the first and most obvious one that was looked at as taboo thing and looked down upon when I was there in the early days was skin bleaching. If you guys don't know what skin bleaching is, go Google it, right? And talk to any Jamaican and ask them if that's an actual thing. I swear to you, if they tell you that's not a thing and hardly any Jamaican do it, they're liars. I have a lot of proof for that. So, Um, yeah, it was frowned upon, and people used to make fun of you if you even dare thought about doing it back, back in the day when I was home. And it got to the point where, it started getting more and more accepted in the society, and more people started doing it. Girls started doing it more because they saw that guys were, you know, more likely to consider them more attractive if their skin color was a lot more appealing. So you would have girls that were very attractive than the lighter skin counterpart that would get overlooked, pretty much because of their skin tone. And guys would have the same thing as well. So it happened to both guys and girls, right? And it kept getting so popularized and, always, and being done so often that famous artists start singing about it, and start doing it in this, start making it even more popular than it should have been. So I'm pretty sure it's like it's like literally everybody is probably doing it here, if not the majority, because it was so already popular before I left. And the only country in the world that I know of that even does skin bleaching to the level that it's popularized in Jamaica is like in the Philippines. It's crazy. And the reason why this is important, like I said, is because that's the first sign that you hate your own self if you're trying to adjust and change and alter your own skin tone. That was the first sign, right? The second sign of showing that you don't like yourself or your race is the regular use of the N word in just talking amongst each other, right? I know people are gonna see it. It's our word, and hey, first off, I'm gonna tell you that's not my word, man. I don't give a that word has never did anything for me. If you want to hold on to a name and call it your own, that was given to you by slave masters as a way of being disrespectful and racist, and you want to own that and call it your own, then go ahead and keep it. But I'm telling you right now, it is embarrassing, and it's one of the first signs that you hate yourself, whether the context of how you use it. Because there's no other race on the face of the planet that goes around other than, we in the black community and regularly talk down to ourselves and degrade ourselves by the use of the N word to describe ourselves and make it like a normal thing to do. To the point where not only are we okay using it amongst ourselves and about ourselves, we give some people the blessing to use it. We give some people the blessing to use it. So, I've had situations where this one time when my wife told me that one of her customers had said to her, like, hey, your husband is black, so I think it's okay if you want to use the N word. You're cool. You're married to a black guy, so obviously you're not racist. Like, and she was like, she couldn't even believe the person even said that. And when she told me, I was like, that's crazy. That's like the stupidest shit I ever heard, because I don't use it. And she was saying that to the customer, like, my husband don't use it, so there's no way I'm going to use that anyway, regardless of whether you want to give an approval or not. And I'm like, that's the level below that we've gone, where we're not only using it and won't stop, but we're allowing people or giving people a pass to use it. And then in that same line, call out white people for using it against you. Right? It literally, it's the most illogical thing I've ever heard of. Like, to me, it doesn't make any sense, right? If you don't want to use it, if you don't want somebody to call you by the word and use the N word, then stop using it to describe yourself. Because people see you do it, they're gonna do it. It's just as if you're trying to teach your child not to curse and tell them, hey, don't use that word, it's a bad word. And then you keep using it all the time around them. And then be surprised if they use it. They might not use it in front of you, out of respect, but they'll use it behind your back, which is the way it works with majority of white people out there. They might not see it in front of your face, but they're gonna call you a N word behind your back, and then everybody else around the world they see it in TVs and movie where talking to ourselves like that, and they're just gonna keep calling us the N word because we don't want to stop using it. So why they gonna stop using it? I don't see any other race, like I don't see white people going around calling themselves crackers and Hispanics going around calling themselves, derogatory words, and any other race. We're the only race that embrace a derogatory name for ourselves and okay with it. And I know it's impossible for most people to stop and outlaw right now, but I can tell you guys that I know for a fact that no matter what you want to do and keep on, calling people out for using the N word. As long as we keep using it, people gonna keep on using it. They're gonna keep on using it. White people gonna keep on using it. Racists gonna keep on using it until that becomes a thing where even we ourselves stop using, and people see us not using it. They'll be more willing to listen and understand that, hey, if they're not using it, then we can't use it. And it's obviously not a law. It's not a word that you should be using anyway. But you can't be calling out somebody for calling you an N word, and you still keep on using it yourself. And not only that, giving someone a passage. So that's why I don't do it, and that's why I don't approve of it, right? And that's the second sign of, show that you don't really love yourself. And then the next one that made it a little bit more upsetting for me to see is how the country, right, Jamaica, the land, for the most famous personality to ever come out of there, the most famous Rastafarian to ever come out of there and put Jamaica on the map, Bob Marley. His all his work and songs about unity and love and appreciating yourself and being proud of your culture and your heritage are now being undermined and removed by the country, or men that's trying to seek outsiders' approval and sell themselves to show to win approval by now outline a religion, because you're discriminating against a class of people. Rastafarian is a religion. If you didn't know, it's basically one. You can't have Jamaica without Rasta. They're one together, right? That, like, you can't see. And the crazy part is they're trying to ban. The government is allowing school to pretty much ban you for the hairstyle, so you have to cut it or stay at home and be homeschooled, right? And the same government that is all key in the school to ban and discriminate against their own people for a particular religion, and it only going to start there. What next they're going to do to try to please the quote unquote white men? You next going to say, okay, you can't come to the school if you don't speak the English, the white man English, as they want to call it. Yeah, we can't speak our native language anymore. Pot will be outlaw next, because now like, where does it end? Like, what are you guys trying to do? Who are you trying to appeal to? I'm almost sure nobody in the outer world is looking or will be happy about seeing something like that, right? Like, there's a reason why Bob Marley was so loved by millions around the world, and it wasn't just for his trademark songs and his song about unity. They like his appearance. They like Jamaicans because of the way we talk and the way we look, and because we're different. And here we are, the birthplace of that culture, and we're trying to cut out a piece of your body, to show how much you're willing to forget your own self, right? And it just doesn't make any sense, because this family right now, the parents are trying to raise a petition and awareness to the situation so that they can get the decision overturned so the daughter can be allowed in school, because they don't want to cut her hair. But that's what they're gonna have to do if they want to get back in there. So I'm like, it's just bull crap, man. So that's why I want to call out, and speak about this thing, because it's very hypocritical. Because these guys want to go to the extreme length to gain other people's approval, right? And win others' love, and whatever they're doing this for. I don't know what reason there could be for doing such a stupid this. Because if somebody tried to make a law like that in the US to ban a religion, it wouldn't even happen. Because like, they can't, like, having that here is a part of the religion. That's a part of the religion. So you can't have a rasta without the locks. Like, it just doesn't work. So if someone tried to do the same thing in the US, it wouldn't work, because that's a clear discrimination. That's clear form of discrimination, and sign and showing that you hate yourself, right? And these guys are trying to do that while still to this day they currently and actively use Bob Marley image to promote tourism. They still use Bob Marley image. You can't see a tourism ad about Jamaica without seeing something to do with Rasta in it. But it's okay, we'll take the money for everything that he's done. Bob Marley would be rolling his grave right now to see, like, and our other ancestors to see the backward step we have took, and how we're so happily using the name that was disgusted at 50 years ago, and not only happily using it amongst ourselves, giving certain people a pass to use it, right? and then we go on and we protest about the Black Lives Matters and stuff like that, and we are so hateful towards ourselves, like, so it basically making it look like Black lives only matter when somebody else is attacking you or brutalizing you or discriminating against you, while we actively show that we don't like one another and discriminate against each other. It's just hypocritical, man. And I'm like, it's something that we have to cut out, and I'm I'm just like, I'm just disappointed, man. Honestly, I don't know what else to see. I don't know if anybody, is gonna agree with it. I'll put the link in the description below to the article so you guys can read it and bring attention to it, because they're trying to get some petition signed. But that's why I call it um not a good look, for the Black Lives Matter movement, because even though this thing was started to show injustice against the Black community and to call out police brutality and all form of discrimination against the Black community, like, we are, you know being killed by our own selves more than any other race. Not police brutality is the biggest issue to the Black community. Not white people being racist is the biggest detriment to the Black community. It's us killing ourselves, literally. If you go check the statistic and see um how many homicide and how many violent crimes and stuff like that, where and how many black people, the black and black crime statistic, like, it's insane. Like, it's insane. We kill ourselves more than anybody else, than any other race, actively. And we kill the whites more than they kill us as well, and so police brutality is not our biggest detriment right now, because it's only a small percentage of the police out there that actively go out just to try to kill you. Like, literally, not even over 2%, I would believe, are like that. But the amount of us out there that are just actively killing each other, like, where is the Black Lives Matter um protesting for those people that get killed, by thugs and stuff in the inner city, family, hardworking mothers and fathers and kids and babies that get killed, by thugs and all those despicable human being in the Black community. Where's the Black Lives Matters and the protest for those people, and for the discriminate, when there's like, when we're discriminating against our own self and stuff like that, like, where is the protest and the outcry there? Like, if we want people to respect us, then we have to show that we respect ourselves. That's the biggest importance I'm trying to get across. If we want to gain respect by everybody else and say, okay, yeah, we need to stop this, we have to show that we respect ourselves. You're not showing that you have any respect for your own self and your history by degrading yourself by the use of the N word. You're not going to gain any respect by giving people a pass to use the N word and then tell them, oh, you don't use it because it's our word. It just won't make any sense. What will happen is that they'll still use it, and they'll still use it behind the back. So that's why every time when people seem surprised when somebody get caught saying the N word, I'm always like, are these people so naive that they think just because someone don't say it, to their face, they won't see it behind the back? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The main reason why they're going to keep doing it is because we keep doing it. Like, they're not going to respect you if they can tell that you don't like your own self by trying to cut off your locks and remove a part of your heritage, like Jamaica is actively trying to do to their own people right now to win others' approval. They're not going to respect you by you bleaching your skin tone to look like them when you have a lot of them that trying to, tan themselves to look like you. It literally makes no sense. You have to show and act like, yeah, you're proud to be black. Like, what happened to black and proud? You know what I'm seeing? Like, I don't understand where that's gone, but I know not the majority of us in the black community are in that type of mindset either. We're, just, care about the bleaching and discriminate against each other. But it's still big. And like I said, it's bigger than police brutality. We killing each other and discriminating against each other, it's bigger. Because like I said, I came from a poor, poverty stricken community, and where crime is just a way of life. And the issues I had, and the toughest issues I had there, was with my own people trying to kill me over nothing half the time. The jealous of you. One of the most common reason you get killed in the inner city for by another, by another black person, is because they just don't like you, or they're not happy because you're doing better than them. And if you're doing better than them, they're upset, and they just don't. It's almost like the mindset that I saw while I was here is, if they're not doing well and they're suffering, they want you to suffer as well. If you have something that they can have, they want to take it from you. And so it's like, it's a in Jamaica we call it a bad mindset, and it's one of the biggest problem that I had to deal with while I was there, because of mindset and people behaving like that. I couldn't buy clothes for myself when I was working and hustling to make money. I had to hide, you know, remove money from my pocket and put it in my shoes and socks when I'm going home to my, to my crime money community, because those guys that hang on the corner, they would always be waiting there to rob you or to check you and see if you had any money, and I had to act like no, I didn't, I didn't make any money today, like, and if they see you buy a new pair of shoes, they're gonna know like how you're making money, and then they'll get mad and kill you, and that's why we're a lot of business owners where, that even if they, become better for the, become a something for themselves, they're hesitant to to bring back to the community, because the majority won't try to kill you, but there's still some out there, you know that their mindset is just so evil, where they'll just be mad that someone else got out and did better than them, and they'll come back and rob your business. So that's why a lot of time when, you see, someone doing good from the community, they're always trying to get out and get somewhere else where the mindset is different, because it wouldn't make sense to stay in that scenario when, it's gonna you're gonna have to pretty much make yourself look as if you're not doing well in order for people to leave you alone. And yeah, so like I said, man, we just have to stop. The biggest thing, like, I would want to see is just we just outlaw the use of the N word altogether. Just stop using it and see how much people will pay attention to that if they notice us not using it as much either. Because, like I said, you're not gonna earn any respect. People seeing you degrade yourself by using the word, bleaching your skin will show you don't love yourself, and then hating on yourself and see the high rate of how much black and black crime is like. That's what we should be, you know, marching and protesting about. Getting these thugs out of the community that give us a bad name. That's what we should be upset about, not the minority. You know, of the police out there that, because that's not the biggest issue. The biggest detriment to the black community, and nobody can disprove this, is absentee fathers. The reason why I turned out to be the person I am today and didn't end up in the same lane that a lot of my friends are, that I grew up with, that are pretty much in jail or dead, and I'm one of the only one that made it out okay, and I'm doing better for myself, is because I had a father, and many of my other friends did not have a father, or the father died early, so they had no one to guide them. They had no one to look up to. Even though my father never had a job, I saw him work hard and try every day to provide for the family. And it's next to impossible for a single mom to do all of that stuff that a man does for his house. Like, the presence that the father brings, and the security, it's different than what a single mom can do. Because when they're not around, the only person that innocent youth, that kid has to turn to, is the thug that they see on the TV, or the guy on the corner that's like, like, that's who gonna take them in and start teaching them the way of to survive. And because there's nobody else to look up to, you're always gonna gravitate to an alpha figure, when you're young. And that's why that cycle keeps happening, and why, those inner city communities are riddled with crime and stuff, because, the father died early, and then they don't know anything else other than the life that they live, and then they end up, when they have a child, it's the same thing, and they die early, and then the kid grew up without a father, and just the same cycle of hate. And the only way we can correct that is, like I said, we need more fathers to stick around for the kids. And it's hard because the life expectancy in the poor and most dangerous community is very low. Like, I know where I came from, like, you were lucky. You were not expected to live past 25, where I came from. Like, it would be considered a dream. Most men didn't make it past that because of how dangerous the era was. So, like I said, it's time we start pointing the finger and start taking a look at our own self. Checking ourselves and do and operate. Show the world that we are proud of who we are. We're proud of our complexion. We're proud of our heritage. We're proud of our Rastafarian culture, my Jamaican family. Like, show the world that you're proud of that, and not trying to cut away a piece of yourself like like it's gonna make you, like you're trying to appeal to somebody. I don't get. I'm still trying to process the thinking behind doing something like that, but it has to be out of sheer trying to make a statement. But what is that statement making? That you're stupid, that you hate yourself. That's all the statement made by outline a part of your heritage. You hate yourself. And the next thing I can say is, what else are you willing to sell? How much of yourself are you willing to sell out to get somebody else, another race approval? Because as you can tell, people love Bob Marley if they couldn't tell. Don't you see how many people around the world adapted his trademark look? They love his song. For God's sake, Bob Marley has been given a t-shirt in the world's biggest sports game, FIFA. What else you need to see or know that what you're doing is like the stupidest rule that you could try to implement. Like, there's millions around the world, white, Asian, all type of race that mimic his hairstyle, and like to look like him. They like to talk like Jamaican, and you want to get out or remove or shut down a part of our heritage to win whose approval? Like, man, you guys better wake up, man. You better wake up and start showing some more respect for each other. And, like I said, I would just love if we just try our best to just not use that word anymore. I hate the word, and I feel like it starts from there, and then everybody else will catch along and follow. So, again, I'll put the description down below so you guys can check on the page of the parent that's trying to get the daughter back to school without, cutting out the religion or and destroying the religion. And give them some support, and just leave a comment in, just leave your thoughts in the comment below. Let me know if you enjoyed it, and anything else you'd like me to talk about. I'll think about doing it. Hopefully you guys have a good one. I'll see you again in the future. Peace.